So, what if you could actually measure authenticity, like with a number? Today, we are diving deep into a really wild metaphysical constant called Xi. It's an idea that tries to, quantify the very essence of what makes something, well, real.
And this quote from the source material, man, it just nails it. She isn't interested in the masks we wear or the images we project. It's all about the raw, unfiltered truth of a thing. But that brings up a huge question, right? If something is truly real, how in the world can you slap a score on it? Okay, so at its most basic level, she is kind of like a score for cosmic authenticity. It's this value that shows just how grounded an entity is in a fundamental reality. And here's the kicker. That score directly controls how its power shows up across different dimensions.
So that leads us right to the big, juicy question. How do you take an idea as abstract and, well, philosophical as reality and turn it into cold, hard math? It sounds impossible, but believe it or not, the framework we're digging into has a pretty amazing answer.
And there it is. Yeah, I know, it looks a little intense, but trust me, it's not as scary as it looks. Every single symbol you see here represents a core pillar of what it means to be real in the system. So let's break this bad boy down piece by piece.
All right, first up, we've got alpha. You should think of this as the foundation, the bedrock. It measures how stable you are, your anchor to a baseline reality. If you've got a high alpha, you are firmly grounded in what's true. You're not easily shaken.
Next up is N, and that stands for narrative coherence. This is all about your story. Does your personal journey make sense? Are your actions consistent with who you say you are? A high N score means you're living a compelling, believable existence. Your story hangs together.
And then we have S, the Sovereignty Quotient. And oh man, this is where it gets really, really interesting. This variable measures your free will. Are you actually in control of your own destiny, or are you just a puppet dancing on someone else's strings? See, having a great story with low sovereignty, that's a tragedy. It's a beautifully written tale for sure, but you're not the one holding the pen.
And finally, at the bottom of the equation, we have T for temporal dissonance. Think of this one as a penalty. If your existence is full of time paradoxes, or you're constantly contradicting your own timeline, it literally eats away at your reality level. Simply put, being out of sync with time makes you less real.
Okay, so we have this super elegant formula to calculate a reality level. Awesome. But so what? What does this number actually do? How does it go from being abstract math to something with real, tangible consequences in this universe?
Well, the stakes could not be higher. With a high G score, your actions become deeply, fundamentally impactful. You're literally operating on a mythic level. But a low score? That signals something much darker. It's a sign of simulation entrapment, of your personal story eroding, of your authenticity just fading away.
And this isn't just some background stat. It is woven directly into the mechanics of this world. It's tracked in real time. It decides who gets to travel between dimensions. It even generates these incredible visual signatures, these glyphs that flare up when reality itself starts to bend and shift.
But wait, there's more. Z isn't just a standalone number. It's actually a force multiplier. It's a critical piece of a much, much larger equation that figures out an avatar's true metaphysical power.
So check this out. This is the metaphysical power formula. It starts with a concept straight out of physics class, right? Work equals force times distance, divided by time. But then, it gets amplified by both your reality level, Z, times that sovereignty quotient we were just talking about.
What this means is that power isn't just about how hard you push. The flow starts with your effort. Sure, it's paced by time. But then it gets exponentially cranked up by how real you are and by how much authorship you have over your own story. Authenticity itself becomes the ultimate power source.
And you can see that synergy right here. It's pretty clear. Having a high reality score is good. Having high self-determination is also good. But on their own, they only get you to moderate power. It's only when you combine a high reality level with high sovereignty that they amplify each other and unlock maximum metaphysical power.
And in practice, this power shows up in some absolutely incredible ways. We're talking about the sheer size and intensity of your aura. It determines how far you can travel across different dimensions. It can even grant you the ability to override the fundamental rules of a given reality. And when that synergy is peaking, it can trigger these glyphic flashpoints, these rare explosive events that signal world-altering power being unleashed.
Okay, So we've looked at the math, we've looked at the mechanics, but for this last part, let's zoom out. Let's go a little deeper and just ask, what's the philosophy behind a system like Xi? What's the big idea?
So to really get it, we need to know this one word, aletheia. It's this ancient Greek idea, and it means more than just truth. It means unconcealment. It's the act of revealing what is truly, genuinely real.
And that brings us to this really key insight from the source material. The Xi scalar, it isn't just a formula you solve. It's meant to be an echo of that deeper truth, a reflection of what is real and unconcealed in the universe.
At the end of the day, Xi is a measure of existential authorship. It's a tool that asks one fundamental question. Is this entity acting from a place of genuine truth and self-direction? Or is it just operating on illusion, on external control, on compromise?
And that just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If you were to take this formula and apply it to your own life, if your existence had a reality score, what choices would you make to increase it? What actions would align you more closely with your own sovereignty, your own coherence, your own truth? It's a pretty fascinating thing to think about.